So we have the books that were randomized. Oh shit. Oops. Hi friends and welcome back to my channel. We're in for another long video today because today I'm going to be randomizing my June TBR. And the reason why this might be a long one is because I plan on participating in 2 readathons in June. The first one is the oh so popular WhateverAthon hosted by Maddie over at Book Browsing Blog. This year I'll be in team Sunset Scholars and I'm super excited. I think this is such a fun readathon and I love that quite literally the entire book community gets involved in this one, which is super cool. I'm so excited about it. I love the prompts. I think the prompts are great. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. The second readathon I'll be participating in is also another month-long one, and that one is DessertAthon. So it's like a spin-off or a pun on DessertAthon, which is the readathon Esme hosted in May. But this time it's DessertAthon, and there's actually a bunch of wonderful people hosting this one, and I won't really say their names because I know I'm gonna forget someone and that will be really awkward, but I will make sure to link everyone and all the information about the readathons in the description box. The idea of DessertAthon is basically that you join a team that is somehow based off a pastry or a dessert, and you gather ingredients by reading books. And once you have gathered the ingredients you need, you're allowed to bake something. That's the worst description ever. And there are, I think, 6 different teams in this one, and I was so uncertain which team I should join, because the thing is also that the team you join, you get bonus points if you read books that matches the genre of the team or like the vibes of the team. But since I still don't really know my June TBR because I have not randomized my June TBR yet and I don't know what books I need to squeeze in my readathon TBRs, I wasn't sure which team to pick. So I solved the issue the usual way by randomizing which team I should join. And when I randomized which team I should join, the result ended up being the Dessert Gins. And this is the team that Esme is hosting. And the genre, the vibes of this team is to read like darker books, like mysteries, dark fantasy, horror, thrillers, stuff like that. You can stretch it pretty far, like it's quite abstract how dark it needs to be, but yeah. So if I read books like that, I will get bonus points. And I think we're supposed to bake like a baklava or something. So those are the 2 readathons I plan on participating in. But before we do that, I need to randomize my June TBR, because what I usually do is I have this, I guess, game. It's not as much of a game as it is a challenge, where I randomize some books I need to read for the next month based on different categories. And once I know those books, then I can actually finalize my TBRs for the readathons I hope to participate in. So that's the plan. That's what we're gonna do now. Last time, when I randomized my TBR for May, I actually did like subcategories to my physical TBR, and I really enjoyed that. What I've done before is I've just counted my entire physical TBR and randomized something from that one and then done other categories. But last time I did like various subcategories, like random letter from the alphabet, random color, gifted book, like stuff like that, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm gonna sort of stick with that theme because I do want to try and focus on my physical TBR as well. So the 5 categories I will be randomizing my TBR from today are by color. I will do it by page count, which was suggested by Sam, so thank you so much for that suggestion. I will then also randomize amongst the books I have hauled this year. 4th category will be to randomly pick a book from my currently reading, and then the 5th and final category will be to pick a book from my Goodreads want to read list. That one is not a subcategory to my physical TBR, but what's fun with that one is that I have over 600 books on my Goodreads want to read list, so it's just a challenge. Those 5 categories are the ones we will be randomly picking books from. So now we're going to pick those 5 books, and once I know which 5 books are on my June TBR, I will get back to you and also work out my WhateverAthon TBR and my DessertAthon TBR. So the first category we're going to use to pick a book from is color. I'm going to randomly pick a color. I'll record on my phone and I'll go to some random color generator website, and whatever color it lands on, I need to find a book with a cover that sort of matches that color, I guess. I thought this was a fun one, and also there is a prompt in the WhateverAthon bingo board to read a book based on color, so this is sort of like hitting two birds with one stone. This is how I'm picking the color for that blank, so that this is perfect. So I've tried to think a bit about my subcategories as well for my randomization. So let's search for random. So I have it here, I think, from before, random color. So I'm just gonna click it, and I think we will get a color straight away. So let's do it. It's purple! Okay, interesting. I now need to have a look on my shelves and find a purple book, so I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. The thing is, if we look at this color again, I don't really have a purple book, like at all, I think. The two books I grabbed, which I see now, one is closer than the other. So I grabbed It Ends With Us, because I guess it's like magenta, like pink purplish. But if we compare it to this color, not the same. So not that one. The closest book I have, I think, is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. I guess it's mainly blue, but there's a lot of like purple around it. So these two go much better together than these two. I guess I'm gonna be reading Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. I'm actually quite excited about this one. It sounds quite fun because I think it's pitched like Mulan meets Project Runway. A tailor in disguise, 3 legendary dresses, and the competition of a lifetime. It seems like a lot of fun. It's wonderfully floppy as well. The next category I will use to pick a book from is to consider page count. This was a suggestion by Sam, who suggested that I roll a die. I'm not gonna use a die though because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered with grabbing one from a box, so I'm just gonna do my regular randomizing a number from 1 to 6 on my phone. Okay, so 1 is to find a book from 1 to 199 pages, 2, 200 to 299, 3, 300 to 399, so on. So I'm going to randomly pick a number from 1 to 6, 3, 2, 1. 4, okay. Darn it! So the book needs to be between 400 and 499 pages long. Okay, I guess I'm gonna consult my bookshelves again. I mean, it could have been worse, but it could have also been like a lot better. Okay, so I think I pulled out almost every single one of my books that are between 400 and 499 pages long. I'm not certain yet which one to pick. I will sort of decide on that once we get to June, but in both WhateverAthon and also DessertAthon, I have prompts to do a poll. I think in WhateverAthon you can do a poll however you like, and in DessertAthon I need to pick between 3 books. I'm going to show you all of the books I have that are between 400 and 499 pages long, and I would love it if you would leave a comment with which one you think I should read. I might also do a poll... Shit. Haha, I just got sushi. And I might also later on do a poll on Twitter with 3 choices from this stack that you get to vote on as well. So yeah, bunch of polls basically, but I'm just gonna hold them up and you will let me know which one you think I should read. We're just gonna go through these really quickly. So first off, The Authenticity Project, 100 Years of Solitude, We Hunt the Flame, Mythos, the Greek Myths Retold, The People in the Trees, My Grandmother Says Hi and That She's Sorry, or whatever this translates to, Twilight but in Czech, Misery, The Spanish Love Deception, The Wedding Party, Hotel Portofino, The Betrayals, and finally, A River Enchanted. I have a few more books on my shelves that are within this page range, but I feel like you have a good selection here. Please leave a comment with which book you think I should read for this particular randomization prompt. The next prompt is to consider the books I have hauled this year. So how many books do I have on my spreadsheet? If I go to my reading log and then I have my book spending log, and it says 27. So I have 27 books on this one. I seem to have read 4, so I'm gonna subtract 4, which makes it to 23. So I'm gonna do from 1 to 23, okay? And I guess we're gonna randomize a number. So 3, 2, 1. 23, okay, so it's my last purchased book, I think. Which if you go on this one is, oh, my latest purchase is Under One Roof, but I've already read that one. So that means the book I need to read is Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. It's the latest Illumicrate book, and yeah, it looks quite cool actually. It has yellow stained edges, it's foiled underneath the dust jacket, it also has some hidden art on the dust jacket. I'm actually quite excited about this. Everyone says that this is quite a different choice for Illumicrate. I'm not certain if it's even fantasy. I think what I know is that it's some sort of heist thing. Will finds himself as something else as well. The leader of a heist to steal back 5 priceless Chinese sculptures looted from Beijing centuries ago. I'm actually excited about this one. I don't want to know too much going into this. And I personally really like this cover and how this book looks like. So, okay, good choice. Nice, that's the one. Next one is my currently reading. So if I go on Goodreads, I currently have 13 books, I think, as my currently reading. One of them I'm fairly certain I will finish this month, most likely 2. But still, we're gonna go with it, unless it's the one I think I will finish within the next few days, honestly. From 1 to 13, 3, 2, 1, 2, okay. On the phone, the second book is Confessions, and this is actually the book I'm currently reading and I'm really enjoying, and I am very certain that I will finish it in May, so it's boring if I pick that one. So I'm actually gonna draw a new number, once again from 1 to 13. Hopefully it won't be 2 this time, and hopefully not 1 and 3 either actually. I think the top 3 are books I'm fairly certain I will finish, so let's just ignore the top 3 and I will do from 1 to 10. 3, 2, 1. 9, okay. Going back to the phone. 1, 2, 3, ignoring those. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The second to oldest book on my currently reading on Goodreads is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, the prequel to The Hunger Games. I started reading this one in 2019, I read about a third of it and then I've never continued with it. But the reason I wanted to pick a book from my currently reading is for multiple reasons. As we know, I'm trying to get through my physical TBR. I'm also trying to lower the number of books I have in my currently reading, so this one works great for that. But also in WhateverAthon, there is a bingo prompt to read a book that's been on a previous TBR, which this one has. Also in the DessertAthon, there are, I think, various prompts for reading books that keep sliding off your TBR or books you keep forgetting about and stuff like that. So once again, I will be able to work this one into multiple prompts. I guess I'm returning to the world of The Hunger Games. I sort of liked it when I read it. Not the biggest fan, but it wasn't that bad either. I'm not certain why I didn't continue with it, but I see now that there's been a lot of hype for the movie that's coming up. So I feel like it would be good to at least try and finish this one. Not certain if I will keep it, to be honest. For the 5th and final category that I will be randomizing a book from, we have my Goodreads want to read list. At the current moment, as I said, I have 635 books on my want to read. So I'm going to randomly pick a number between 1 and 635. Last time I did this, many of you actually commented and asked, hey, why are you counting the books on your phone? If you go on the website, the books are actually numbered. I know this, I am fully aware of this, but the thing is, I hate screen recording on my laptop. I always mess that up. It will take me longer to set that up compared to just sitting here staring at my phone and counting to like 300 or something. It's an active choice I'm making. I'm aware of the numbers, thank you for telling me, but I'm fully aware of them. I've done it that way before. This is just easier. I hate screen recording on my laptop. Doing it on the phone is so much easier. So from 1 to 635, are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Of course, 571, that's not too bad. I can count backwards. So I'm gonna go on my want to read. The way the books are numbered on the website is that the first book you ever added to your want to read list is number 1, and the latest book you added is the highest number. So for me, if I put it in the reverse order of the way I put the books in lately, 635 for me is tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Guess I'm gonna count backwards and we'll see how it goes. Stick around. $75, $74, $73, $72, $71. Okay, so book number 571 is Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. And hold up, I actually have that one. Even though I randomized a number from my Goodreads want to read list where there is no guarantee that I own the book or will have access to the book, I ended up getting a book of my physical TBR. This is the Swedish translation of Death on the Nile. I feel like this is a good start to the summer as well, and this will also work for my team in DessertAthon. So okay, cool. I think it will work. It's not dark, but it's a mystery. So here we have them, the books that were randomly picked from my TBR, plus another book that has between 400 and 499 pages that you will help me choose. This is not the stack I was expecting to work with in June, if I'm gonna be honest, but I'll do my best. Out of these ones, I think I'm actually the most excited about Portrait of a Thief. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna eat my sushi that I just got delivered, and I'm gonna contemplate how I should set up the rest of my TBRs for WhateverAthon and DessertAthon, and I'll be right back and share my TBRs for those readathons.
A few moments later.
I'm back. I'm just gonna quite quickly, I'll try at least, go through the various prompts for the teams I'm in, and I'll talk about which book I sort of hope to read for that prompt. This might change. This is not set in stone. It's only my randomized TBR that we've done that is set in stone, and I actually still don't know one of the books because that's the one I need help with. Potentially that one could also count for some of these prompts, but I have not really considered that. If we start by looking at the bingo board for the Sunset Scholars, first there is a team-specific prompt to read a book related to dragons, or have dragons somehow, somewhere in the story, on the book, on the cover. For this one, I actually hope on reading A Natural History of Dragons. The reason why I'm picking this one is because it's part of my 12 book recommendations from 12 friends challenge for this year. I'm not doing the best with that challenge so far, but the thing is that Sasha from The Wild Sasha recommended me this book. It has dragons in the title, so I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for me to actually read this one. I have no clue what it is about, all I know is that it has dragons in the title. The next prompt in WhateverAthon is the an of a and. So basically a book that has any of those words in its title. For this one I'll be counting The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Multiple of the books I've pulled could work for this prompt, but I feel like this one has the most typical, classical, cliché YA title sort of thing. The something of blank and blank, basically. Next prompt is under 300 pages. I think that for this one I will be reading Stuck on You, which is a novella by Ali Hazelwood, the author of The Love Hypothesis, and this is the second one in the novella series. The first book was around 100 pages, so I'm fairly certain that this one is also quite short. The next reading prompt is Recently Hauled. We all know the book that was picked for this one, which was Portrait of a Thief. Next is blank color on the cover. You were with me when I randomized a color. I randomized the color purple, and the book that closest fits this color for me is Spin the Dawn, so I'll be reading Spin the Dawn for this prompt. We then have on a previous TBR, which once again I'll be reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I had this on like a couple of TBRs back in 2019, haven't had it on a TBR since, but it's always there, lurking. I should read it. It might be on my like 22 books to read in 2022 or something like that. Next prompt is favorite genre. For this one, I'll be counting Spin the Dawn because it's a fantasy and my favorite genre is fantasy. So simple as that. I forgot to mention this, but you are allowed to count one book for 3 prompts. So I am actually trying to double up quite a bit because I have a bunch of reading I need to do in June. Next one is shiny cover. None of the books I have pulled out actually have like a sheen to the cover or some sort of foiling on the cover, but a book that is shiny actually is Portrait of a Thief underneath the dust jacket. Here we have a shiny cover, so I'm gonna count that. So that way I'm also counting this book for multiple prompts, which is amazing. So for different format, I'll be counting Stuck on You, the short novella that I just mentioned, mainly because I very rarely read novellas. I don't do it often. It's very rare that I read books that are less than 150 pages. It's not my go-to format, I guess. Next up, we have the prompt to read a book with a one-word title. For this one, I hope to read Verity by Colleen Hoover. I've been meaning to read this one for a while, and it's fairly short and it has only one word in its title, so it's perfect. For the next prompt, we have host favorite, which is to read a book that is one of the hosts for WhateverAthon's favorite, and there's a full list provided by Maddie with 45 different options for books. None of the books I've talked about this far is any of the host's favorites, but I had a look on the list and what's on my shelf. There are some options. I do have Traitor's Blade, The Hating Game, The Final Empire, Malice, Jade War, the sequel to Jade City, Nevermore as an ebook. One book I'm actually considering to read for this one is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I think I want to read Verity before I read It Ends With Us. I think that will be the one I'll go for, but we're gonna have to see. I might be in the mood for something else. For example, Traitor's Blade. That one I've been wanting to read too. Next prompt is to continue a series, and once again I'm counting Stuck on You. It's the sequel in this novella short story sort of series. So that's perfect as well. Stuck on You or Stuck With You? Stuck With You. I think I've been saying Stuck on You. I mean Stuck With You. Next prompt is to fulfill basically that the book you read starts with the last letter of the book you previously read. This will be difficult though, because I haven't really figured this one out yet. I think I could do It Ends With Us and then continue with Spin the Dawn, probably, or The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and then Spin the Dawn. So I need to read either one of these two and then Spin the Dawn. So I can count Spin the Dawn for this one, hopefully, if I read them in the right order. Okay, next prompt in WhateverAthon is to read a book with multiple S's on the cover. I believe we have quite a good candidate for this one. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. There's a total of 4 S's in this one, so that should count. Next WhateverAthon prompt is poll. Once again, you will help me out with this one either on Twitter or here in the chat. Somehow you will help me pick a book. So this will be the 400 to 499 page book I need to read. We then have less read genre. I'm gonna throw in another book. Oh, I missed one. I forgot to mention the prompt book about books. For the prompt book about books, I hope to read The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I started reading this one last year, and the thing is, as you might know by this point now, this is not even my book. I had borrowed it from a friend and have had it for over 2 years, I think, which is awful. So it would be amazing if I could actually finish this book. And it is a book about books, because it's called The Book Thief. It's about someone that steals books. I also hope to read this one for less read genre, because this is historical fiction. And I do appreciate historical fiction, but I definitely don't read it as much as fantasy, romance, and general literary fiction. This will also work for the prompt less read genre. Now we're back on track. The second to last reading prompt for WhateverAthon is academia theme. And there's actually one book I would love to get to, and that book is The Secret History. I have no clue what this book is about. I just know that it's very popular. The reason I bought it is because it feels really nice. Like, it's so smooth and like fluffy. This is the book I hope to read for academia theme. It's a chunky one though. It's closer to 600 pages. And I can definitely see that my TBR is already growing. So we'll see how I'll do. The last prompt is to read a 2021 release. I don't have an idea for which book I should read for this prompt yet, but I'm certain that amongst the books I mentioned for my page count prompt, one of them should have been published in 2021. So I guess that, hey, if you could take my TBR into consideration, please comment a book from that pile I shared that was also released in 2021. That would be perfect. Also, once I know which book that will be, perhaps I can work it into multiple prompts here as well, and things will move around a bit. As I said, this is not set in stone. This is just a general idea of what I might read. This is now the current stack after I talked about my WhateverAthon TBR. It has definitely grown. We're now at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think 10 books. Lastly, we're gonna discuss the prompts for DessertAthon. I'll be baking baklava, I think. The prompts for that one are the following. First is to spice up your TBR, and for this one I plan on counting Verity. This is a dark romance, so we have spice both because it's dark and also because it's romance. And I think this will also work for the genre, the vibe, the theme's aesthetic. The next prompt is Philo, which is novella or short story. You can guess it. For this one I plan on reading Stuck With You by Ali Hazelwood, since it is a novella. Next prompt is Butter, which is keep sliding off your TBR. For this one I'm going to say The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. As I said, I've had it on multiple TBRs a couple of years back, and it's time I get through it. The next ingredient is sugar, which is to read a feel-good book. Possibly multiple of these ones could be considered to be a feel-good book. I'll probably either count Spin the Dawn, because it's YA fantasy. I tend to just enjoy them, have a good time with them. Another book, I think that it's the book that I'm actually the most excited about in this stack, and that is Portrait of a Thief. If it's a heist story, I just tend to enjoy those. The final ingredient is vanilla, which has the prompt, book you keep saying that you'll read. For this one, I'm gonna count The Book Thief. This is definitely a book I have said on multiple occasions that I should read, mainly because I need to return it to my friend. This is definitely a book I keep saying that I should read, but never really do read. And those were the team prompts for DessertAthon. Of course, you are allowed to gather other ingredients and make other recipes as well. I will mainly focus on this one. If I achieve this one recipe, I will be very pleased. The current stack is looking like this, with the additions of a book that has between 400 and 499 pages, A Natural History of Dragons, Stuck with You, and possibly something else. Also, I just remembered, I'm actually hoping to do like a secret reading project in June and make a vlog out of it. And those books are so not on this TBR, and they would be so difficult to squeeze into these readathon prompts. So that's gonna be a challenge. I hope to do that like the final week of June or something. That could be very difficult actually. So I'm not certain how I'll do. I think that's it for my June TBR. I'm so excited for June. I'm so excited for these readathons. I feel like they're gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited to read The Secret History. I want to annotate it. I might even vlog it. I'll be reading hopefully Agatha Christie for the first time, which is really cool. Colleen Hoover for the first time, hopefully. I might also knock off a few more books off my currently reading list, which would be incredible. So fingers crossed for that one. We also have Portrait of a Thief, which I'm really excited about now. Like, I'm really excited about this one. So this is gonna be fun. It's a very different stack from what I anticipated, but I feel quite good about it still. I think it's gonna be a good time. If you'd like, please share if you plan on participating in any readathons in June, and if you are participating in WhateverAthon or DessertAthon, let me know which team you are in. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Please take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!
You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after